I'm coming to you live from Freising, Germany. Freising is a small town, or a small city, that is northeast of Munich, located about where the Munich airport is. And while in Germany, stopped at a convenience store and I saw these beers, so I thought I would just try them and compare them against each other. We have a Dominikaner Pilsner and a Paderborner Pilsner. Okay. And I'm assuming these are from maybe somewhere between, or somewhere around the Frankfurt area, because that's where the convenience store was. Let's see if I can see anything on here. Okay, so well, this one here is 4.8 ABV. And so is this one. So is the Dominikaner. 4.8. I'll have to look this up before I edit the video so I can see where they're from, because I really can't tell. Alright. Now, I wanted to compare the Big Six from Munich. That is the beers that are allowed to be served in Oktoberfest, which should be Hofbräu, Paulaner, Spaten, Augustliner, Löwenbräu. What else? What's the other? Hocker Schwa. Alright. And Franziskaner. I'm not sure if they sell that one in Oktoberfest or not, even though it is owned by one of the Big Six breweries. I think Spaten, Augustliner, and Franziskaner have merged. I'm not sure. And they, in turn, are owned by another big brew. Is it Carlson, or is it... It's not InBev. I don't think it could be InBev. I don't know. Now, I'm not going to do this blindfolded to see which one's best, because I don't care. I wish I had something to compare with these. Something that I know, like Hofbräu. It'd be nice, to see how these stack up against a beer that I know and a beer that I think is really good. That being Hofbräu. Or Hocker Schwa. Or even Augustliner. So, here's the Dominikaner. Kind of tastes a bit like orange going in. No bitter aftertaste. Good carbonation. Got some bitterness to it, but not much really. I say it's pretty consistent from start to finish, which, depending on your taste, could be a good thing or not. For me, it's drinkable, and that's what we're here to find out. Is if once I drink these, which one would I rather have another one? This is the Paderborner, if I'm saying that right. Paderborner. I was thinking it's Paderborner. Paderborner. Because in Germany, the ER sounds, they pronounce like an A. Like Paulaner. Instead of Paulaner, like we would say in the United States, Paulaner. Or Augustliner. This one is not quite as flavorful as the Dominikaner. Yeah, much better with Dominikaner than this. Paderborner. Pilsner. It's kind of just tasteless. I mean, there's taste there, but compared to this, it's weak. Let's say if this was a 10, then this might be a 7 or a 6. as far as the strength of the flavor goes. And the flavor is okay. It's not that great. Frankly, I don't really even want to finish that beer. I'll tell you already that if I had to have another one, it'd be the Dominikaner. That would be this one right here. But it ain't over until it's over, as Yogi Berra might say. So I'm going to finish these, and then I'll make up my mind. Because now I said, yeah, I've already decided like that one. Well, up to this point, but things can change. When it comes to drinking beer, you start picking up flavors the more you drink of it, until you get toasted, and then you really don't taste any flavor. It just tastes like water. But as your palate, your taste buds, or whatever, adjust to the beers over and over, start picking things up. It's like when you watch or look at a painting, and you notice all this stuff, detail. Then you come back and you look at it again. So, oh yeah, I've never seen that before. Well, that's kind of like drinking beer. Drinking one glass, yeah, they're pretty good. I drink the second glass. Hey, you know, I'm starting to taste a certain flavor in here. It took me about a six-pack to learn that I can't stand Red Stripe from Jamaica. Or, let's see, where's some other shitty buns that I've had doing these? Red Stripe from Jamaica was a terrible one. Dos Equis. The regular lager. Can't really stand that one. Peroni. Thought Italian beer would be okay. Pretty good. Let's try it. Well, Italian beer might be good, but Peroni ain't. And I wish I could get my mitts on some Birra Moretti and see how that Italian beer stacks up against some of the other beers that I've tasted, such as Peroni, for instance. You think Birra Moretti is better than Peroni? If it is, why don't they sell it in this country? Why do they ship Peroni over here? They leave it over in Italy. If it's a big beer and Italians drink it, fine, let them drink it. Here, it sucks. All right, that was one glass gone, so now I'm going to refill these glasses. I'm going to try this. This one seems to hold the head better. I usually try to pour these without stirring up too much carbonation, because when you do that, it flattens out the beer some, and I don't like beer that's flat, even partially. You know, the less flat, the better. Now here's a side-by-side. You can see that the Paderborner has more head to it. Colors are basically identical. Clarity is basically identical. Other than the head, these beers are indistinguishable by sight. But the head gives it away. There's a taste in there that I can't describe, which I don't really care for. Which is why I said I didn't really care for that one too much. I wasn't even looking forward to finishing the rest of it. But that one's better, I think. I don't know what this taste is. I don't even know how to describe it. A certain flavor that peeks through. And that's how it is with beers that I grow to hate. You know, when I'll drink the first one, you know, and It's okay. Maybe the second one, and I get that flavor or some characteristic about it, and then every subsequent taste of that beer, that flavor gets more and more prominent, and then I just can't drink any more of it because whatever it is, the flavor or the characteristic or the feel, I don't like it. And that's the way it was with some of the beers that I mentioned, Red Stripe, for example. Kind of, there might be some flavor in this one I don't really care for either. I could probably say that neither of these two beers stack up to Hofbräu or Weihenstephan. Weihenstephan is another one of my favorites. The Budweiser from Czech Republic is a good one and one of my favorites. Kronenbourg from France, Kronenbourg 1664 is another one of my favorites. Unfortunately, I can get most of those where I live in the States, in Florida. I can get Hofbräu, I can get Weihenstephan, I can get Kronenbourg, I can get, what was the other one I mentioned? Budweiser, but they don't call it that because it's spelled the same as Budweiser. And there's a trademark dispute between the two beers. So, the Czech Budweiser cannot be sold as Budweiser, or cannot be sold with that name in the United States. They call it Czechvar. Likewise, American Budweiser cannot be sold in most European countries with the name Budweiser. It's sold as Bud. But from what I understand, in the United Kingdom, you can get two Budweisers, the American version and the Czech version, both with the words Budweiser on the can or the bottle. Yeah, neither one of these beers are worth writing home to mother about. But I guess, people like cheap beers, and these are probably the German Pils version of Busch or Old Milwaukee. That's why they're in convenience stores. That's not to say all beer in convenience stores are bad, but most are sold in convenience stores because they're cheap. And if they're cheap, that means that there's not a huge demand for it. If there was a huge demand for a beer, it was the best beer in the world, it'd be expensive. And if it's cheap to make. Cheap to make, not a big demand. You got low price budget beer. That's drunk by rednecks and hillbillies and bogans. And gopniks. So, that's what I think that these beers are. They're gopnik beers or bogan beers. Or, I don't know. I'm sure that maybe some Germans will be watching this, and if you are, Guten Tag, or whatever you might be, Guten Morgen, I don't know. And you can maybe shed some light on these beers, because I haven't heard of either one of these before I came to Germany this time. See, when I traveled around Germany this time, I wanted to go to all the local pubs and drink their local beer. And, of course, local beer in Munich are the Big Six, and Weihenstephaner, and, there's others. And then I had Stuttgart, went to downtown Stuttgart, went to a brew pub down there. I forgot what it was called. But that beer was all right. Went to the Weihenstephaner restaurant and brewery yesterday or the day before. No, yesterday. A keg of rum with Weihenstephaner. It's a good beer. Weihenstephaner, not this. Boy, I wish I had some to compare with this. Right now, these beers are starting to taste similarly. And choosing one, it's really a toss-up. It's kind of like choosing between Rosie O'Donnell and Roseanne Barr. Don't really want either. Or choosing between Nancy Pelosi or Hillary Clinton. Alright, well, this is it. Drink these and tell you which one I'd rather have another one of. If I had to, if I had a gun to my head. Now, I'm not saying that these are totally undrinkable. It's just that they're not that great. Which is giving Hillary Clinton and Rosie and Nancy Pelosi more credit than they're due. Saying they're not that great. No, they're much worse than not that great. Down the hatch. Yeah. I told you I should wait till the very end because now I'm liking this one better. Because there's a finish to this one that's kind of turning me off. But maybe it's because I'm chasing it with this one. I don't know. So I'll do this one first. This finish has emerged from the beginning, but I didn't detect it first. Well, maybe a strong grass flavor is kind of how I would describe it. And I really don't like grass, even though I haven't really eaten it. I just try to imagine what it would taste like. And I've heard some other people use grass in their beer descriptions, some grass flavor. Well, that's like, you're kind of taking up a big handful of your lawn and chowing down it. Not as grassy. At first I thought the Dominikana was going to win, but now I think if I had to have another one, it'd probably be this one. So I'm going to give it to this one. Even though I started out at first weaker tasting than the Dominikana. By this point, they are tasting about as strong as each other. But the aftertaste on this one that started to come out, I'll pass. The grassy flavor, the strong grassy flavor. So yeah, it is stronger. It's got a stronger grassiness to it than this one, than the Paderborner. Frisch Spritzig. Westfalisch. Geschmack. I don't know any of this stuff, but I'll look it up before I edit the video, and you'll know exactly all you need to know about these two beers. Capiche? All right. Thanks for watching. It's going on 22 minutes here. 21. Well, when I edit the video, that ain't gonna matter. So, time to cut it down. Cut it off. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Adios. Or as they say in Germany, Auf Wiedersehen.